In this video, I'll show you how to use your calculator to calculate the future value of an annuity. Here's the problem. Find the future value of an ordinary annuity with $125 paid monthly into an account that earns 6 1/8% annual interest for 15 years. We'll use the formula for an ordinary annuity. It looks like this. Notice there's only a few places we have to plug things in. The payment, which we know is $125, and then this I and this N, and here's the I again down here in the bottom. I is the periodic interest rate, and N is the total number of periods. In order to evaluate this, it's very helpful to write the formula down on paper with the numbers you want to use before you turn to the calculator. Don't forget we have to convert 6 1/8% into a decimal. And it's a good idea to simplify some of the calculations first. You can use the memory feature of your calculator for this. So here's the formula that I've got all the things plugged in. Now, one thing I want to mention is that our calculator doesn't realize that this is the entire numerator unless we tell it. So we're going to create an extra set of parentheses around the top and around the bottom. Notice that I've put 6 1/8% in as a decimal and divided by 12 to get the periodic interest rate. The number of periods is 12 times 15. So let's use our calculator to evaluate this formula. I'm going to do 125 times, and then here I need two sets of parentheses. One that you see in red I drew in, and one for the 1 plus 0.06125 divided by 12. That's the parentheses that needs to have the exponent on the outside. Notice on my calculator that when I type in 12 times 15, it's all staying in the exponent. To get out of the exponent, I click on the right button. Now I subtract 1, and that'll do it for the numerator. Divide by the denominator, which also needs parentheses, 0.06125, oops, typo in the slide, that should be 125, divided by 12. And close that parentheses. You can hit enter here, and that way we're typing in the entire formula in one step, and makes it less likely that we're going to make a mistake with our order of operations. So that's our final answer, but let me show you an easier way to do this. If we use 0.06125 divided by 12 in our calculator as I, then we don't have to type it every time, and it gets a lot easier. Let me show you how. Type in 0.06125 divided by 12, and then look at this store button down here. Store alpha, and I'll pick I as the letter I want to store that in for interest rate. So once I hit enter, it shows me the number, but it has stored it in the I variable so that I no longer have to type that every time. Also, we could simplify the exponent a little bit by just typing 12 times 15 and recognizing that that's 180. Now the formula is 125, two sets of parentheses, 1 plus I, and I'm going to use alpha and that button to get to the I, raised to the 180. Don't forget to hit right to get out of the exponent, subtract 1, and then divide by I. Now I don't need to have parentheses around the denominator, and this will get me the same answer I had before, 36,742, and of course we round off to the nearest penny for a money problem. Is this a reasonable answer? It seems so. We can always check how much we paid into the account by saying 12 months per year, 15 years times 125, the total amount we paid into the account was $22,500. So the rest of that $36,000 is the interest.